Have a look at the difference between England and China. Look at these trains, but here in China, I was able to do that journey. In London, one of these plates, one of these dessert plates, might set you back about £8, I think. Here in China, it costs just 26 yuan for that. And the funny thing is to Chinese people, this is very normal. But to us Westerners, it's not. We can't actually quite fathom how ridiculous this place is. Why can't we bring Chinese contractors into the UK to help us build in the UK like this? Guys, one train costs £130 and another train costs £40. Which train are you getting? Have a look at the difference between England and China. Look at these trains and tell us what you think you would prefer to be getting on. For this 500, 600 kilometre journey, it cost us £40 to go from Xiamen to a place called Zhuhai. We are in Zhuhai at the moment. A city you've probably never even heard of if you're a Westerner, but it's got more skyscrapers than London does, which is quite phenomenal. Are we allowed to go or not? I don't know. But what's really, really impressive about all of it is we came here from Xiamen and we actually missed our train. We missed our train. This journey would have cost us around £260 to miss that train if it was in England. And look at the English train. I want you to see the English train. Look at the train fares and the railway in England. And then tell me what you think that railway looks like. Does that look like a £260 railway? I don't know. But here in China, I was able to do that journey in probably half the time on a bullet train. You see, in China, they have bullet trains. And they have bullet trains everywhere. England, still without our bullet trains. We don't have any. Amazing, really, right? The developed country of the UK, one of the leading nations, used to rule the world, and yet it does not have infrastructure like China does. So what happened was we were in Xiamen and we had a great time in Xiamen. I had some more videos on Xiamen. We had some more videos to share on Xiamen, but it wasn't received like we thought. So we held fire on the other Xiamen videos. If you want to see them, then maybe we will release them. But we took a train from Xiamen all the way to Zhuhai. And we were supposed to get to this train station. If you've seen the size of the train stations, they're huge. They're like airports in China. We were supposed to be there in good time, maybe 40 minutes before our train. And there was so much traffic on the roads that we ended up missing the train. It was very tense. Julia was in the back looking at me, looking very tense. I don't know if I've got footage of it, but Julia just looks over to me at one point, and we've been in the car for nearly 40 minutes by this point, and Julia goes, it's still another 45 minutes. And I didn't hear her right. I thought I didn't hear her right, and I thought, no. I'm just in the front with this guy, because we had bags in the back, so I just figured, she must be wrong. She wasn't wrong. The journey took about an hour and a half, and the driver, bless him, tried to drive as quickly as possible. We didn't tell him we were missing our train, but I think he sensed it. No, we couldn't speak to him, could we?
No. We tried. He understood what was going on. So
it wasn't good.
It was a warehouse, load of traffic was.
Yeah.
We were just like in this car not moving for so long, so he probably kind of knew we were missing it. He did what he could. It was very sweet.
So we got to the airport. I call it an airport. It's a train station, but it is almost an airport. The staff was so nice, quickly ushered us through. The lady knew that we were about to miss our train, so she shoveled us through and just said, go.
Because we've actually been through the station.
It was so quick. So quick.
And we literally missed the train by what, 1 minute?
1 minute. They just closed the doors and they announced. They said the doors are now closed.
We rushed through, we ran across. I was saying we only missed it because we basically went into the opposite door of the gate.
Yeah.
So we had to cross the whole.
It's if you know stations in China, they're not 10 platforms. They're like 20 something platforms, so 25, 30 platforms. It's a huge station, so you can imagine how far you had to run.
I was running without bags.
It was.
We nearly made it. They just closed the gate 1 minute before. We only had to go down but they had just closed it.
Oh, so we were devastated. So guys, me and Julia just missed our first train here in China. My gosh, what an ordeal that was. The amount of traffic on the road is no joke. You can really see it why there are more than 1 billion people living in China when you see the congested roads on a Saturday night in Xiamen. Xiamen Bay, very close to Xiamen, or so we thought, but when Saturday night traffic and congestion rolls in, even Didi wasn't prepared for it, and lo and behold, we missed our train by minutes. We heard them announce that the train doors were now closed, and we were literally yards from it. We were so close. And the lady said to us we've missed it. We got there at 42 or 41 and the train was leaving at 44, so we were just very, very close. But we figured we've just now lost about £70 because we had a train from there, and it was about 35.
It was annoying. There was only one of 2 trains we needed, so we're going to lose our connection as well.
Yeah.
So that was the most important thing, is our connection was actually the last train of the day as well. So that missing that train meant we would have lost the last connection to
Correct.
the second train.
So we were missing about £80 worth of train just in China, and then a hotel as well. You can imagine how I felt. So we're missing out on about £120 worth of booking, and I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. But Julia opened up the app, and China, incredible country, right? Opened up the app. In England, they would tell you tough luck. Here in China, they let you rebook a new train free of charge. The hotel let us book free of charge. Try and find that in England. 我说的不好普通话啊，我来自英国，英国是，再见。On that train infrastructure in England, the developed nation of the UK, you know, London, that train station I'm showing you is London, and mind blowing. I know, it looks pretty sick, that, doesn't it? That would be fun as a kid. Can you believe that that's the infrastructure in London? Those trains, they're delayed frequently. There's cancellations every day. And let me compare the pricing of London. So to do a 3-minute journey in London, it would probably cost you about £4, which is about 40 yuan. Now 40 yuan in China, you could probably go 20, 30, 40, 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers on that same, right? Crazy, right? And let me tell you this, our trains, they don't even have air conditioning on all of them. In fact, my trains where I live don't have air conditioning. And yet we pay to go to work something like 1,600 yuan a month for our monthly ticket. And I live about 8 miles from the centre of London, or 12. I live about 12 miles out of London. Not too far in the grand scheme of things, central London. Now here we are in a city called Zhuhai. Now Zhuhai, amazingly, is a city you've probably never heard of. Now Zhuhai is a port city next to Macau, on the border of Hong Kong, Macau, and it's almost a little bit of a holiday destination too. Now what's amazing about this place is we're standing outside a huge mall, and look at this mall. It is absolutely massive, right? Look at all of this space here. You've got all of the Western brands. Tell me where you can find these brands in the UK. I'll tell you what's really interesting here is Luckin Coffee here. How much does a coffee cost in the UK? Remind me. In London, we'll probably spend about £4 on a coffee. £3.95, £3.50. Here in China, coffee costs, Luckin Coffee, maybe 90 pence. Less than £1 for a big, huge coffee, twice the size. This would be like a super-sized coffee. And the coffee is decent, you know. It may not be as strong as maybe the London ones, but it's because there's a lot of liquid in it. Look at this meal we just had in Zhuhai. I say it's a meal, it was a dessert. How much do you think this costs? In London, one of these plates, one of these dessert plates, might set you back about £8, I think, £9. So that's about 90 yuan or something for that. Here in China, it costs just 26 yuan for that. And for the sesame, it was about 15 yuan. So you can imagine the good value this offers. And it shows you not just how, people will say in the comments, oh, well, you can't just compare China versus England. But what you can compare is the lack of infrastructure in England and the worrying lack of development that is happening in the UK. Look at these cities like Zhuhai. Why does Zhuhai have more skyscrapers, have more technology than a capital city like London does? London's supposed to be a leading city in the world. When we talk about leading cities, we talk about London, New York. But the truth is why is my city... What is it supposed to be? There you go. Julia added in. She's being all coy and shy. She says London is supposed to be the London is supposed to be the New York of Europe, and she's right. And don't listen to me bitching about my hometown, my city. I'm not going to talk about New York because I'm not from New York. I find it really annoying because I find it really annoying when people talk about people's hometowns that they're not from. They don't understand, because I understand London. So I'm not going to talk about any other place. But Julia has lived in London for many years. So she understands it, and she knows, and we know from many international friends, when they say you're going to London, it's felt like you've made it. You are the big dog now. You are the New Yorker of Europe. They're like, wow, Julia's now working with luxury brands. Big names in London. She's doing really well. She's a high-flying project manager. Amazing, right? But the truth is the situation couldn't be any further from the truth in terms of happiness, because your salary is absolutely just driven down by the cost of living there. You can eat out once, twice, maybe 3 times, 4 times a month. That's a huge finger. Amazing how much you can eat out here in China, and the value is just incredible. If you want to spend a lot in China, you can, but if you want to spend very little, you also can, and that's what's amazing about it. And here we are in this amazing, massive open air mall. Check this out. This is beautiful, mind-blowing, really. Wow. Look at that. Wow. And guys, maybe people, Westerners, those kind of anti people, they will say, oh, they don't have Western brands and things like that in China. And let me tell you, the Western brands are doing massive business here. So if anyone ever says to you anything about China or anything like that, let me tell you this, right? The only fool are those people, because all of the brands are here doing business and they're all selling, They're all from brands like H&M, Adidas. They're all Western brands. They're all making a lot of money here. So they may tell you one thing in the media, but let me tell you, they're all here. And it's quite mental. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's just incredible, really. How does a place like this in Zhuhai exist, It's just amazing, the development of everything here. And the funny thing is to Chinese people, this is very normal. Yeah, let's do it. This is very normal, this place. But to us Westerners, it's not. It's nothing like we've ever seen before. We can't actually quite fathom how ridiculous this place is, like in terms of building. Here she goes. She's running. Amazing, right? I didn't realise it to be open air. Yeah.
It's not a bit like open in places. I think within the different exits you can just come out and be on like sort of balcony.
Find me a mall like this in the UK. This massive. Okay, we have I can't even remember the name. What's the famous Westfield? Westfield in London. Have you seen the place? Let me tell you some pictures of Westfield. And people will write these nasty things in comments like, don't they have Westfield? It's like, mate, Westfield is an absolute gutter joke. It is an absolute joke. It's a terrible place.
One of the most boring places on earth. It's really bad. It's going to be so depressing to go to. Even before, it's So imagine after like knowing different malls, how it feels to go to Westfield, you know.
True.
I always thought it was such a depressing place.
So you think it's depressing, right, Westfield?
Yeah, it's depressing. I would say it's depressing even before you know anything else. So you can only imagine how depressing it can be if you're from a different background, like an Asian background. If you're Chinese and you've been to Chinese malls.
Do you miss London?
Nah, I don't know.
What's the worst thing about living in London?
I don't know where to start. There's a lot. There is a lot.
What? I'm not here to slate London. I love UK. I love supporting my people, but at the same time, why can't we bring Chinese into the UK? It is. Look at how beautiful all of this is, you know. Why can't we bring Chinese contractors into the UK to help us build in the UK like this? It's just phenomenal. If you look at places, everywhere is built so slowly. Here in China, everything is building so quickly and vast. Wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And look at all these restaurants. These are all restaurants. You can imagine how many people come here every night because they've got chairs outside, so they get very busy. And look how futuristic this stuff looks over here. You've got like futuristic pods. Try and find this in London. You've got brands like Lego, New Balance. You know, if you come to live in China, you don't have to give up your Western brands. They exist here. Okay, they're expensive, but you know, it's kind of worth it. No. In fact, me and Julia were saying, we were in Hong Kong, we said we prefer Asian brands, we prefer Chinese brands. We don't like to support the Western brands. Can't stand most of them. Julia is a very fashionable girl, but she doesn't wear any of these kind of fashion brands. They're not really fashion, they're just luxury wear for idiots that have too much money, you know. But what about Vero Moda?
I think it's Swedish.
He's not even Italian. Oh my gosh. It's a Swedish brand, right?
I think it's Nordic.
Wow. Wow, guys, look at this. Look at the curvature of this building. It's phenomenal. So this is the biggest mall in Zhuhai. It's not small, is it? Let's be fair. I'm not here to be an annoying Westerner, a white guy that goes, oh my God, like, guys. And then as soon as I put the camera, I'm like, it's normal. It's actually impressive. Oh, it's Danish. Here we have, you know, these very modern places, brighter than anything, more modern than anything, at a tenth of the price as they're selling it in the UK. Now, what's also happening in the UK is everyone is buying from China. So UK businesses aren't making as much as they used to. There's crime on the streets of the UK. The infrastructure's just not there in the UK anymore. I don't really understand how we're letting this happen. I think it's down to corruption in the UK, and they're letting it all just, you know, run its course, and it's terrible. But here is booming, and this is a country where all their taxes and things like that, you know, is money that gets reinvested, and it's pretty impressive, to say the least. And look at all of the modern cars. How many cars do you see like this, which are English cars in the malls in England? These are all Chinese vehicles. There'll be electric cars, and damn, do they look good. And damn, are they winning the market as well. You know, look at these cars. Look at these cars down here. Where can you find a mall like this in England? Where can you find a mall like this in England? I don't know any malls like this in England. It's incredible, right? Look at it. It's like an open air mall, and it's the biggest here in a city you've probably never heard of. It's a city called Zhuhai. Have you ever heard of Zhuhai? Maybe not. Unless you're Chinese, you probably have, but incredible, right? Can you imagine what they're like in Chongqing, in Shenzhen, in Shanghai? Whew. Incredible. Guys, there's even indoors as well, my lord. I'm not gonna spend all the time here at the mall, but incredible, really. Guys, which mall would you rather pick? Would you rather go to the mall in England, or would you rather go to the mall here in China? I think I know what I would rather pick. Guys, check out this. Wow. What an absolute amazing mall this is, right? How on earth is this in a city we've never heard of? absolutely mind-boggling. All of the lights, everything. It's just, I'm such a small man in comparison. Look at little me. Fucking hell, crazy, right? Wow. Amazing. Ah, it's the Tangulu man. He's back. 你好，这是什么？ What's it?
石花，冰石花知道吗？这种
这样的，OK，
一杯
一杯，谢谢。卫生，你好，谢谢，OK。
Say jujube.
嗯，
Say jujube.
因为他们这。
What should we call it? In a shop.
It's very nice. And how her? 谢谢。